The Last Stand. The vast emptiness of space erupted with bursts of plasma fire as Captain Sarah Chen watched through the main viewport of the VSS Prometheus. The experimental vessel represented humanity's greatest achievement in military technology, but now it faced its greatest test, an armada of 300 Nexuri warships bearing down on their position. "Status report," Chen commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of their situation. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their movements precise even as the ship's adaptive gravity compensators struggled to keep up with their evasive maneuvers. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez, the ship's tactical officer, spoke without taking his eyes off his holographic display. "The Nexuri fleet is maintaining their pursuit formation. Their energy signatures suggest they're charging weapons across all vessels." Chen nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the distant explosions. The Prometheus had just executed a fighting retreat from Earth's outer defense perimeter, drawing the alien fleet away from the planet. It wasn't a coincidence that they'd chosen this particular region of space for their stand. "Dr. Patel, how's our quantum core holding up?" Chen asked, turning to the brilliant physicist who had helped develop the ship's revolutionary technology. Dr. Aisha Patel's fingers danced across her console as she monitored the experimental systems that made the Prometheus unique. "The Q matrix is stable, Captain. All quantum entanglement fields are operating at optimal efficiency. We're as ready as we'll ever be." The Prometheus wasn't just another warship. While other nations had focused on building bigger guns and stronger shields after first contact, humanity had taken a different approach. The vessel's quantum entanglement technology allowed it to predict and manipulate probability fields, giving it capabilities that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. "Message from the Nexuri flagship," announced Communications Officer Wei Zhang. "They're demanding our immediate surrender." A harsh laugh escaped from Rodriguez. "They still think we're running scared." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Let them think that." "Area. Begin combat analysis protocol." The ship's adaptive response intelligence array came to life, its holographic avatar materializing beside Chen's command chair. The eye appeared as a shifting pattern of blue light, its voice carrying a hint of anticipation. "Analysis initiated, Captain. The Nexuri fleet's current formation presents several exploitable weaknesses." The Nexuri had never faced anything like the Prometheus before. Their entire military doctrine was based on overwhelming force and superior numbers. They didn't understand that humanity had learned to fight smarter, not harder. "Multiple targeting locks detected," Rodriguez reported, his voice tense. "They're preparing to fire." Chen straightened in her chair. This was the moment they'd trained for. "All hands, battle stations. Dr. Patel, bring the Q matrix to full power. Area. Execute probability field manipulation sequence alpha." The space around the Prometheus began to shimmer as its quantum fields expanded. The Nexuri fleet opened fire, hundreds of energy weapons converging on their position. But something impossible happened. The shots began to miss, their trajectories bending away from the human vessel as if guided by an unseen hand. "Probability manipulation successful," Area reported. "Enemy accuracy reduced by 87%. Their targeting systems are attempting to compensate, but our quantum interference is preventing lock-on." Chen watched as confusion spread through the alien fleet. Their tight formation began to waver as ship after ship failed to land a single hit on what should have been an easy target. "Now it's our turn," Chen declared. "Mr. Rodriguez, target their command ships. Dr. Patel, channel quantum energy to weapons systems. Let's show them what happens when you corner humanity." The Prometheus's main guns hummed to life, but these weren't conventional weapons. They fired streams of quantum-entangled particles that ignored traditional shields, their effects magnified by probability manipulation that ensured every shot would strike at the most vulnerable points. The first volley tore through 3 Nexuri capital ships like they were made of paper. The aliens had never encountered weapons that could bypass their shields completely. Their formation broke apart as panic began to spread through their ranks. Enemy fleet is attempting to regroup, Araya announced. Their tactical computers are struggling to formulate an effective response to our technology. Chen leaned forward in her chair. They're about to learn that humanity doesn't play by the old rules anymore. Araya, calculate optimal attack vectors for maximum chaos. Dr. Patel, prepare for full quantum burst. Mr. Rodriguez, target their flagship. The real battle was about to begin, and despite being outnumbered 300 to 1, Chen knew the odds were actually in their favor. The Prometheus wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's declaration to the galaxy that the rules of warfare had changed forever. As her crew prepared for their next attack, Chen reflected on how far humanity had come. The Nexeri had expected to find an easy target when they invaded human space. Instead, they had forced humanity to evolve, to think beyond conventional warfare, to harness the very fabric of reality itself as a weapon. The Prometheus's quantum core pulsed with power, ready to demonstrate just how dangerous a cornered humanity could be. Hidden advantages. The Nexeri fleet's formation had devolved into chaos, but Captain Chen knew better than to underestimate their ability to adapt. The alien vessels were regrouping, forming smaller battle clusters that would be harder to predict and counter. They're learning, Rodriguez observed, his hands flying over the tactical controls, breaking up into smaller units to minimize the effectiveness of our probability manipulation. Dr. Patel's voice carried a note of concern. Captain, the quantum core is showing signs of strain. We've never sustained field manipulation at this scale before. Chen had anticipated this. The Prometheus's technology was experimental, pushing the boundaries of what humanity thought possible. But they had planned for this moment, built redundancies into every system. Initiate quantum field modulation sequence, Chen ordered. Let's show them another trick. The AI's avatar pulsed with increased activity. Modulation sequence initiated, calculating optimal frequency patterns based on enemy movement. The space around the Prometheus began to ripple in new ways. Instead of simply deflecting enemy fire, the quantum fields now started creating mirror images of the ship, perfect duplicates that seemed just as real as the original. Quantum duplicates stabilized, Dr. Patel reported, her eyes wide with excitement. The Nexeri sensors won't be able to distinguish which ship is real. Each duplicate is maintaining its own probability field. The alien fleet's response was immediate. Their fire scattered across space, trying to hit multiple targets at once. But with each shot, the quantum probability fields adjusted, ensuring the real Prometheus remained untouched while its duplicates drew enemy fire. Message from the Nexeri command ship, Zhang announced. They're demanding to know how we're violating the laws of physics. A grim smile crossed Chen's face. Send no response. Araya, begin Phase 2 of the attack plan. The AI's avatar expanded, displaying a complex web of tactical projections. Phase 2 initialized. Quantum entanglement fields are primed for offensive deployment. The Prometheus and its quantum duplicates began moving in perfect synchronization, each one targeting a different cluster of Nexeri ships. The aliens had no way to know which attacks were real and which were mere probability shadows. Multiple enemy vessels reporting critical systems failures, Rodriguez announced with satisfaction. Their shield harmonics are completely destabilized by our quantum interference. Chen watched as the Nexeri fleet struggled to cope with warfare on a level they had never imagined. Their ships were technologically advanced, but they relied on predictable physics, something the Prometheus had learned to manipulate. Dr. Patel, status of the quantum core? Chen asked, knowing they needed to press their advantage while they had it. Core is operating at 93% efficiency, Patel replied. The new modulation sequences are actually helping to stabilize the system. We can maintain this level of operation for at least another hour. That was longer than they would need. The Nexeri fleet was already showing signs of breaking. Their coordinated attacks had become desperate salvos, their tight formations falling apart as each ship tried to find some way to combat an enemy that seemed to defy reality itself. "Captain," Aria's calm voice cut through the tension on the bridge. "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from several enemy vessels. They appear to be overloading their reactor cores." Chen's eyes narrowed. "Suicide runs. They're getting desperate. Mr. Rodriguez, prioritize those ships. Dr. Patel, redirect quantum fields to intercept." The space around the targeted Nexeri ships suddenly twisted, probability fields condensing into impossible geometries. The overloading reactors found their energy redirected, contained within quantum bubbles that turned their own destructive power back upon themselves. "Enemy casualties mounting," Rodriguez reported. "Their fleet coordination is breaking down completely. Individual ships are beginning to retreat." But Chen knew the battle wasn't over yet. The Nexeri were proud warriors, and their command ships still held position, launching wave after wave of attacks that splashed harmlessly against the Prometheus's quantum defenses. "Aria, analyze their command ship's defense patterns," Chen ordered. "Find me a weakness we can exploit." The AI's avatar pulsed with increased intensity. "Analysis complete. Their command and control systems rely on conventional quantum encryption. Our advanced quantum manipulation capabilities can exploit this." Chen leaned forward in her chair. "Explain." "We can use our quantum fields to entangle with their communication systems," Aria elaborated. "In effect, we can make their own commands work against them." A predatory smile spread across Chen's face. The Nexeri were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their technology. It was their ability to think beyond conventional limitations. "Execute the plan, Aria. Dr. Patel, prepare the quantum core for maximum output. Mr. Rodriguez, stand by for targeting solutions. Let's end this." The real demonstration of humanity's power was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. Counterstrike. The Nexeri command ship loomed in the viewport, its biological-looking hull bristling with weapons. Despite the chaos spreading through their fleet, the alien flagship maintained its position, a testament to their commander's determination. "Quantum entanglement with enemy communication systems achieved," Aria announced. "We now have access to their command and control network." Captain Chen watched as streams of alien data flowed across her tactical display. "Show me what they're planning, Aria." The AI's holographic form expanded, creating a three-dimensional representation of the Nexeri battle strategy. "They're preparing a concentrated assault. All remaining ships are being ordered to fire simultaneously, believing our quantum fields cannot handle such massive energy input." "They still think this is about raw power," Dr. Patel said, shaking her head. "They don't understand what we've created." Chen smiled. "Then let's teach them." Aria began infiltrating their targeting systems. "Dr. Patel, prepare the quantum core for recursive probability manipulation." The Prometheus's quantum fields shifted, no longer just defending against attacks, but actively reaching out through space, touching the very computers that guided the Nexeri weapons. Through quantum entanglement, they weren't just predicting the enemy's moves, they were becoming part of their targeting calculations. "Enemy fleet is moving into position," Rodriguez reported. "Energy readings are off the charts. They're throwing everything they have at us." "Let them come," Chen said calmly. "Aria, status of the infiltration." "Complete quantum integration achieved," the AI responded. "Their targeting computers are now operating within our probability matrix. They cannot fire without our calculations affecting their trajectories." The Nexeri fleet opened fire, hundreds of energy weapons releasing their power simultaneously. But instead of heading toward the Prometheus, the shots began curving through space in impossible arcs, turning back on their own ships. "By the stars," John whispered, watching as the Nexeri fleet was struck by their own weaponry. "We've turned their entire attack force against them." But Chen knew better than to celebrate too early. The Nexeri commander was crafty, and desperate enemies were often the most dangerous. Aria analyzed their command ship's reactions. What are they planning? The AI's avatar flickered with increased activity, detecting massive power fluctuations in their flagship. They appear to be activating some form of emergency protocol. Energy surge, Rodriguez shouted. They're channeling power directly from their reactor core into their weapon systems. It's beyond anything we've seen before. Dr. Patel's hands flew across her console. Captain, that level of power. They're going to burn out their own systems. It's a suicide run. Chen's mind raced through the possibilities. The Nexeri were willing to sacrifice their command ship to take out the Prometheus, but they didn't realize they were playing right into humanity's hands. ARIA, prepare for maximum quantum field expansion. Dr. Patel, route all available power to the core. Mr. Rodriguez, plot and intercept course with their flagship. Her crew looked at her with surprise, but they trusted their captain. The Prometheus surged forward, its quantum fields rippling with energy as it headed straight for the massive alien vessel. Their power levels are reaching critical, Dr. Patel warned. Whatever they're planning, it's going to happen soon. Chen's voice remained steady. ARIA, execute Protocol Omega. Let's show them what happens when you feed that much energy into a quantum probability field. The space between the two ships began to distort as the Prometheus's quantum technology intercepted and redirected the massive energy buildup from the Nexeri flagship. Instead of an explosion, the energy was caught in a web of quantum probability, transformed into pure potential. Quantum core is at maximum capacity, Dr. Patel reported. The energy from their reactor. We're not just containing it, we're reshaping it. Now, ARIA, Chen commanded, show them true mastery of quantum mechanics. The trapped energy exploded outward, but not as destructive force. Instead, it manifested as waves of probability, washing over the Nexeri fleet and rewriting the very physics around their ships. Systems failed, weapons powered down, and shield generators overloaded as reality itself seemed to turn against them. Enemy fleet is reporting massive systems failures across all vessels, Rodriguez announced, unable to keep the awe from his voice. Their quantum-based technology is being overwhelmed by our probability fields. Chen watched as the mighty Nexeri armada began to drift, their ships powerless in space. They had never imagined that their own energy could be turned against them in such a fundamental way. Open a channel to their flagship, Chen ordered. It's time to explain their options. The battle wasn't over, but humanity had proven something extraordinary. It wasn't just about having better weapons or stronger shields. It was about understanding the universe in ways their enemies never imagined possible. Breaking point. Static crackled across the communication channel before resolving into the image of the Nexeri fleet commander. Supreme Admiral Kvex appeared as an imposing figure, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the emergency lights of his failing bridge. Impossible. Kvex's translated voice carried both rage and disbelief. No single ship should be capable of this. You've violated the fundamental laws of warfare. Captain Chen stood before the view screen, her posture relaxed but alert. Admiral, we haven't violated any laws. We've simply understood them better. Your fleet is disabled. Your weapons are useless. Surrender, and we can end this without further loss of life. The alien commander's crystalline features shifted in what might have been a sneer. You think this is victory, human. You think your quantum trickery makes you our superior. We are the Nexeri Dominion. We do not surrender. Multiple power signatures detected. Rodriguez called out. They're rerouting emergency power to secondary systems. Chen's eyes narrowed. ARIA. Analysis. The AI's avatar expanded, displaying new tactical data. The Nexeri fleet is activating dormant systems. These appear to be prototype weapons, highly unstable and potentially devastating to both user and target. They're going to kill themselves trying to kill us, Dr. Patel said, her voice tight with concern. Captain, the quantum core is still processing the energy from their last attack. We can't absorb another surge of that magnitude. Chen watched as the disabled Nexari ships began to glow with ominous energy. The aliens were willing to sacrifice their entire fleet in one final desperate attack. It was exactly the kind of scenario they had theorized, but hoped never to encounter. Dr. Patel, what happens if we reverse the quantum field polarity during their attack? Chen asked, an idea forming. The physicist's eyes widened as she ran the calculations. A reverse polarity. That would create a quantum resonance cascade. We've never attempted anything like that in practice. We're about to, Chen declared. HFY, begin preparations for quantum field reversal. Mr. Rodriguez, plot an escape vector, but do not execute until my command. The Nexari ships were growing brighter, their hulls beginning to crack under the strain of the volatile energy they were channeling. Kivex's image still dominated the view screen, his expression one of grim satisfaction. You have shown us humanity's greatest weapon, the Admiral declared. Now we will show you the price of such arrogance. All ships, initiate final protocol. The space around the Nexari fleet began to warp as hundreds of ships prepared to detonate themselves in a chain reaction that would tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. It would destroy everything within a light year, including Earth's outer colonies. Quantum field reversal ready, Dr. Patil announced. But Captain, this is purely theoretical. We don't know what will happen when their energy wave hits our reversed fields. Chen's voice was firm. Sometimes the best theories come from necessity, Dr. Arata. Calculate the precise moment of impact. The AI's calculations flowed across the tactical displays. Enemy detonation in 10 seconds. 9, 8. All hands, brace for impact, Chen ordered. Dr. Patel, prepare to reverse fields on my mark. Mr. Rodriguez, be ready with that escape vector. The Nexari ships had become miniature suns, their hulls completely compromised by the energy they contained. Kivex's final transmission came through filled with static. For the glory of the Dominion. Now, Chen commanded. The Prometheus's quantum fields inverted just as the Nexari fleet exploded. Instead of an expanding wave of destruction, something extraordinary happened. The reversed quantum fields created a resonance effect, catching the massive energy release and turning it inward. Containment fields holding, Dr. Patel reported in amazement. The resonance cascade is working. Their energy is being redirected through our quantum matrix. Through the viewport, they watched as the space around the Nexari fleet collapsed in on itself, the destructive energy of hundreds of ships being drawn into a swirling vortex of quantum probability. The aliens had created a weapon meant to tear space apart. Instead, humanity's understanding of quantum mechanics was using it to seal the breach before it could form. RIA, status of the quantum event, Chen demanded. Containment is stable, the AI reported. The energy is being dispersed safely through multiple probability states. No damage to surrounding space-time detected. The bridge crew watched in awe as the last traces of the Nexari's desperate attack faded away, leaving behind only floating debris where their mighty fleet had once been. A few ships that hadn't participated in the final attack remained, their systems slowly coming back online. Message from the surviving Nexari vessels, Zhang announced. They're requesting terms of surrender. Chen took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. Humanity hadn't just won a battle. They had demonstrated a mastery of physics that would change the balance of power throughout known space. RIA, begin documenting everything we've learned today, she ordered. The galaxy needs to understand that humanity isn't just another spacefaring race. We're something they've never seen before. Humanity ascendant. The debris field of the Nexari fleet stretched across space like a glittering constellation of failure. Captain Chen stood at the Prometheus's viewport, watching as recovery ships from Earth's outer colonies began arriving to salvage what they could from the battlefield. Each piece of wreckage would provide valuable insights into Nexari technology, though humanity had just proven their own technology far superior. Final damage report coming in from all sections, Rodriguez announced from his station. minor structural stress from the quantum resonance cascade, but all systems are functioning within normal parameters. The Prometheus held together better than any of our simulations predicted. Dr. Patil approached the captain, her tablet displaying streams of data from the quantum core. The readings we got from that last engagement are extraordinary, Sarah. What we learned today about quantum field manipulation will advance our understanding by decades. The next series' attempted suicide run actually helped us perfect our containment theories. Sometimes the best discoveries come from our most desperate moments, Chen replied, turning from the viewport to face her bridge crew. Araya, what's the status of the surrendered Nexeri vessels? The AI's avatar materialized, its form more stable than ever after the intense calculations of battle. 15 Nexeri ships survived with minimal damage. Their crews are cooperating fully, though intercepted communications suggest they're still struggling to understand exactly what happened to their fleet. They're not the only ones who'll be wanting answers, Zhang interjected. We're receiving transmissions from at least 6 different alien civilizations. Word of this battle is spreading fast. Chen nodded, having expected this. The Prometheus hadn't just won a battle. It had demonstrated a level of technological advancement that would reshape the balance of power throughout known space. The quantum manipulation techniques they'd perfected would change everything from warfare to space travel to energy production. Captain, Araya's voice carried a note of what might have been pride. I've completed my analysis of the battle data. Would you like to hear the implications? Go ahead, Araya. What have you learned? The AI's avatar expanded, displaying complex mathematical models. The Nexeri's final attack actually validated our most ambitious theories about quantum mechanics. By successfully containing and redirecting their energy cascade, we've proven that space-time itself can be manipulated through controlled quantum field interactions. The applications extend far beyond military use. Dr. Patel's eyes lit up with understanding. Of course, the same principles we use to redirect their attack could be applied to faster-than-light travel, energy production, even terraforming. We could reshape entire planets. And that, Chen said quietly, is exactly why the rest of the galaxy is about to beat a path to Earth's door. Some to learn from us, others to try to stop us from developing these technologies further. She turned to face her crew fully, which is why what we do next is just as important as what we did today. The bridge crew gathered around their captain, understanding the gravity of the moment. They had just participated in a battle that would be studied for centuries to come, but the real challenges and opportunities were just beginning. Lieutenant Zhang, prepare a general broadcast on all frequencies, Chen ordered. It's time to address our audience. When the communications officer nodded ready, Chen spoke with the same calm authority that had carried them through the battle. To all civilizations receiving this transmission, today's conflict was not of our choosing, but its outcome was determined by humanity's fundamental approach to understanding the universe. We did not win through superior numbers or brute force, but through innovation and our willingness to challenge established limitations. She paused, letting her words sink in. The technology demonstrated today by the VSS Prometheus represents humanity's commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We do not seek dominion or conquest. Instead, we offer partnership. To those who would join us in peaceful exploration and development of these new frontiers, Earth welcomes you. To those who would seek to restrict or control humanity's advancement, she gestured to the debris field visible through the viewport. Well, I believe today's events speak for themselves. As the transmission ended, Chen turned back to her crew. Dr. Patel, begin preparing research packets for distribution to our scientific communities. Mr. Rodriguez, coordinate with Earth Defense Command on updated tactical protocols. Araya, start compiling everything we've learned about quantum field manipulation. It's time to share these breakthroughs with all of humanity. And the Prometheus, Captain? Rodriguez asked. What's next for us? Chen smiled, looking out at the stars that suddenly seemed much closer than before. We've just rewritten the rules of what's possible, Lieutenant. Our job now is to explore those possibilities. The Nexeri thought they were coming to teach humanity its place in the galaxy. Instead, they helped us prove that humanity's place is wherever we choose to make it. The quantum core hummed softly throughout the ship, its power no longer just a weapon, but a key to unlocking humanity's future. They had entered this battle as underdogs, facing overwhelming odds. They emerged from it as pioneers of a new age, having proved that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or shields, but in its ability to understand and reshape the very fabric of reality itself. As the Prometheus set course for Earth, the debris of the Nexeri fleet glittered behind them, a monument to the day humanity announced its true arrival on the galactic stage. The message was clear to all who witnessed it. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire. It had emerged transformed, ready to take its place among the stars not as followers, but as leaders of a new age of discovery and innovation.